Welcome into the Beat Sessions. I'm your host, Mitchell Weary. It's Friday, August 6th. Hope you've all had an excellent week. There's been a lot of hype leading into the weekend, and we don't have any word from Kanye. We don't have any word from Drake yet. But who cares, because we have Nas and his brand new record, King's Disease 2. This thing is fire. I'm pumped to talk about it. I love this man. This is his 14th studio album. It follows up the first installment, King's Disease, which was released last year. Won a Grammy as well for Best Rap Album of the Year. I might argue that this album is a little better, though. It's just, there were moments when I was listening to this thing where I had to just continue to rewind. The power of the lyrics, his rhyme schemes, the timing structures, flow. I mean, everything about Nas, since he's started, since Illmatic. I mean, that was the first hip hop record I ever listened to. I didn't, really get into hip hop until I went to college. Had a buddy of mine who was into Bob Dylan as well. Big hip hop guy, and was like, dude, you need to check this out if you're into the folk tradition and storytelling. And really, there are a lot of similarities. You get a guy like Nas, whether it's the first or third person that he's exploring, that just easily one of the best storytellers in rap. And as far as the music that he creates, it's just so elegant in its simplicity, understated just to the right degree, where and that's what makes him so brilliant too, is that his skills as a producer and as a musician in that regard, outstanding. The music, incredible, but it really just creates this solid foundation for him to do whatever he's doing on a particular track lyrically and just build it up from there. So I love that this guy is still around. I love that he continues to be relevant. He continues to put out amazing music. And again, there's some moments on this album, some guest appearances especially, where your jaw's just gonna drop. I was blown away. This thing opens up with The Pressure, simple but solid beat, light, airy instrumentation, very simple, but his lyrical flow, just incredible. It's really a clear indication of what you're gonna get for the next 14 tracks. 15 songs, 54 minutes. You guys know that I kind of a stickler about the 45-minute runtime thing, maybe 10 to 12 tracks, but I'm always happy to have new music from this guy. I'm such a huge fan, and all these songs are really solid. So I welcome all of them. I'm going to take the double LP, vinyl pleasing this right off the bat, obviously. Death Row East is the second track on this record. Incredibly powerful. It explores the beef that developed between Nas and Tupac, how they met up in Central Park and squashed all that. Were on good terms when they left, and sadly, Tupac, I think it was like 3 or 4 days later, was shot and passed away subsequently 3 or 4 days after that. So a very heavy track. There's this vocal, there's soundbite at the end of it where Tupac's death is being announced at a Nas show, and really just very heavy. But I'm loving what he's doing with that track, the story that he tells, and really spreading that truth that the world may not have known at the time, but like, they were cool. I think that's what makes it tough too, is that the beef was being squashed, and it sounds like there were a lot of cool collaborations that were in the works. Unfortunately, we will never know, but just again, really dig the homage on that track, what Nas is doing with it. 40 Side is the third song, trap influence driving that, really dig it. EPMD2, two just phenomenal acts in Eminem and EPMD on this track. Both classic, both cornerstones of the genre. And EPMD vocally is great on this thing, but when Eminem comes on, I still am speechless. Like, I really don't even know what to say other than just listen to it. 50 Cent was like emotional, tearing up about just what he was doing, paying homage to some of the hip hop artists that we've lost in the last few years, and then also throwing out the ranks of the greats that are still currently around and driving the genre, and just being thankful that he's amongst those people, those individuals. And it's just it's really a very humbling sequence in the song. But Eminem's wordplay, you got to listen to it. It blows me away. Leads right into Rare, YKTV, and then Store on the Run, the next sequence of tracks. I really am a big fan of Moments. I really like the sentiment of the track, as far as Nas just highlighting all these little things that we forget about, as far as the first moments in our life and how special they are. But also, as we get older, those memories, they start to fade a little bit. The feelings that we were feeling at that time, may have been fleeting as well a little bit. It's kind of one of the sad things about getting old. So it's really a cool track. harking back to all the, the great things that make up growing up. And I really I'm like when he's doing lyrically on that track, which leads into Nobody. Lauryn Hill is back. She's rhyming on this thing. I almost I'm not the only one too. I think everybody's tearing up. It's incredible to hear her on this track. Her perspective, the story that she's telling, what she's delivering is just, I mean, again, it was another one of those moments where my jaw just dropped and I had to just keep rewinding and listening to her part. But that song just has an amazing jazz feel to it. I absolutely love it. It's really cool to see Lauryn Hill on this record. And then No Phony Love, Charlie Wilson coming back. He was on the first King's Disease, so why not bring him back for the second? And then you get 5 other tracks that are solid. Brunch on Sundays is the 11th track. You can guess what that song is about. Sunday Fun Day, and all the darn good stuff that goes along with that. Just dig the vibe on it. It's really chill. This whole album, honestly, definitely has this laid-back summer vibe to it, which is another thing that I'm just loving about it, especially because the nice rainy weather in Tucson has gone away, and now it's just hotter than you-know-what. So it's nice to just have new music like this, to crank the AC to, and just chill out and try to beat the heat with. But I'm going to definitely vinyl please this thing. It closes with Nas is Good. Nas is great. And Nas is just one of my favorites. And records like this are the reason why he just continues to be one of the best, one of the most influential, and arguably my favorite of all time. I love this guy. I love what he does. Loving this record. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you find this review helpful as well. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, check out the live show on Sundays when it returns on September 12th, and we'll see you next time in the Beat Sessions.